During our senior year, Sophia Song, the most popular girl in school, once borrowed money from me for medical treatment, swearing me to secrecy. Turned out she used it for an abortion. She hemorrhaged to death on that clinic's operating table. Years later, Lucas Liu, the untouchable beauty and academic prodigy, pursued me relentlessly before proposing, until my 8th month of pregnancy, when he imprisoned me in a suburban basement. He cut open my stomach with a snarl. "This is what you owe Sophia and our child." Only then did I learn. Before dying, she clutched his hand and begged him not to blame me. Yet, he remained convinced I deliberately killed his beloved and their baby. That day, I died beneath Lucas's knife with eyes wide open. Then I awoke, seething with hatred, back to the moment Sophia asked to borrow money. On the 10th day in the basement, the stench of decay clung to me. I'd tried every possible escape, all futile. This dungeon had been custom-built for me 3 years prior. Its single exit now a taunt. Just as despair consumed me, light bled through the doorframe. Starvation made my vision swim as I crawled toward the stairs, cradling my belly. Polished black Oxfords materialized before me. Their owner ground his heel into my trembling hand. I looked up at the approaching figure, my other hand desperately clutching at his trouser leg in final supplication. "Lucas Liu, I truly didn't know Sophia Song was pregnant. She only said she needed to borrow money for medical treatment." Lucas yanked my hair violently, his face contorted with disgust. "You think I'd believe that? What right does someone like you have to speak Sophia's name? Do you have any idea how pure she was? Even in her dying moments, she revealed your secret crush on me, telling me to forget her and take care of you instead." He ranted with frenzied conviction. Me, having a crush on Lucas Liu, that was from another lifetime, back when Sophia hadn't even entered his world yet. I didn't even know they'd eventually gotten together, that the child Sophia carried had been his, until Lucas imprisoned me. But now no explanation mattered. Sophia was already gone. The life in my stomach stirred restlessly. My resolve wavered. It was already a living being, biting back tears. I met Lucas's gaze. "You can kill me to avenge Sophia, but this child isn't just mine. It's yours too. Please, I beg you, let it live." "Child," his laugh was razor sharp. "You really are pathetically stupid. Did you actually think I'd let a whore like you carry my heir? The men I hired for you got more than they paid for." The revelation struck like lightning. Of course, our marriage bed had been cold from the beginning. Our couplings could be counted on one hand. Most of the time, I remained oblivious, and he simply dismissed it as exhaustion. Looking back now, I suspect he had been drugging me from the very beginning. This realization engulfed me in a tidal wave of hatred. Seizing Lucas Liu's momentary distraction, I sank my teeth into the fleshy part of his hand with every ounce of strength I possessed. The metallic taste of blood flooded my mouth as I burned with the desire to drag us both into death's embrace. The blade pierced my abdomen, sending waves of excruciating pain through every nerve. Bound hand and foot, I couldn't even beg for a merciful end. Lucas Liu lifted the bloodied infant before me and said, "Chung Yuan, you kill my child in Yao Yao. Now it's finally your turn." My eyes remained wide open, fixed on him with unblinking intensity. Hatred, such hatred. All I did was lend out some money. All I did was harbor fleeting youthful affections for this man. Why? Why must I come to this? I refuse to accept this. I won't submit. Why must I endure this torturous slaughter? Why can my murderer shamelessly shift all blame onto me? I would rather become a vengeful spirit, to carve out his heart, sever his tongue, and devour every morsel of his flesh in retribution. Perhaps my obsession ran too deep, for suddenly a hazy, white mist rose before my eyes. When I opened my eyes again, I found myself transported back to the very day Sophia Song asked to borrow money from me. Sophia's message arrived while I was still in class. Our high school was a century-old institution and a top-tier demonstration school, so teachers maintained strict discipline. Mobile phones were practically forbidden. Only a handful of students smuggled theirs into dorm rooms. sneaking moments after evening study sessions. Lately, she'd been reaching out frequently, complaining of persistent discomfort. I'd repeatedly urged her to see a doctor, fearing I might miss her message. I'd rush back to the dorm at lunch with just a bread roll. The low blood sugar hit hard. Waves of dizziness left me reeling before I steadied myself. As consciousness returned, memories of my past life flooded back in perfect clarity. A tidal wave of hatred consumed me instantly. My hands trembled around the phone. The identical message from that previous lifetime appeared. Yuan, I'm desperate. I've fallen ill and need at least 5,000. With only 2,000 to my name. Could you lend me the difference? I swear I'll repay you. Last time, I'd pressed her about the illness. Her reply had been venomous. What? Afraid I'll default? Sophia and I had grown up together. She'd always known precisely how to manipulate me. That single barb trapped me in self-justification. Back then, I believed her my dearest friend. How could I let her think that way? Perhaps she simply didn't want others knowing her private matters. Back then, as a student, I'd saved my allowance for over 2 years, but only had about 2,000 yuan. Still short by 1,000. When my monthly living expenses were just 800, I lent her 2,500. Yet she said it wasn't enough, begged me to find more somehow. So I scraped together another 500 for my dorm mates. For the next 2 months, repaying debts. I survived on 2 packs of Lao Beijing instant noodles at 150 each. Later, I never received news of Sophia Song's recovery. After lending the money, I couldn't reach her again. Not until after the college entrance exams, when by chance I overheard my mother mention Sophia had died from hemorrhage during an abortion at some clinic. The words struck me like lightning from clear skies. I had the fiercest argument with Mother, demanding why she kept this from me. She absorbed my outburst calmly. What good would telling you do? Weren't you taking exams? I warned you weren't suited as friends. Her, or Qin Yuan, understand this. You can't interfere with anyone's fate. In the following days, I drowned in endless self-reproach. If only I'd been more attentive, asked more questions. Might Sophia still be alive? Before marrying Lucas Liu, I dissected this past with him once. He held me tightly then, his face obscured as he pressed me against his chest, but his tears fell upon my neck. And in that moment, I was utterly moved. Convinced I'd found my soulmate, he seemed to understand everything about me, even sharing my pain as his own. When those tears fell, was he questioning the truth of my words, or weeping with excitement that his revenge drew nearer? The me who lived this life before is no longer that pitifully naive high school student. I scrolled through our chat history. My expression grew colder with each message. Ever since dropping out in our second year, she constantly sent me glimpses of her glamorous nightlife. Then came the affected pout. Yuan, really, what's so great about studying? Doesn't it suffocate you? Sneak out tonight. Let's hit the bars. I'll show you how real fun looks. My reply, Yao, it's not safe for a girl out there. While your student record still stands, come back and repeat the grade. What future will we have as adults otherwise? Chang Yuan, I'm just not cut out for books. Must you flaunt your smarts at me? Her words crossed a line. I stopped responding, genuinely furious at the time. Yet soon she came slinking back to campus, flowers in hand. Dearest Yuan, don't be angry. You know me. What you see is what you get. No sugarcoating. I just want you happy like me. It hurts seeing you grind yourself to exhaustion. Sophia, everything gets tiring. I just want to make sure the future won't be this exhausting. Forget it. I'm done talking to you, you bookworm. Does Sophia Song truly care about me? If she did, would she have picked a fight during the placement test just to make me skip school for her birthday? If she cared, would she have sugar-coated it to Lucas Liu, pretending to defend me while exaggerating that tiny crush I had freshman year? With these thoughts, I stared coldly at her frantic messages in the chat box before typing. Asterisk Sophia, what do you need all this money for? Is it some illness? Asterisk, just like in my past life. She flew into a rage, spamming the chat. What's that supposed to mean? Yuan Cheng, just say you won't lend it. You're looking down on me, aren't you? You think I can't pay you back, right? Reading these, I nearly laughed at the irony. My fingers hovered over a blunt refusal. Then a better idea struck me. My dear friend, dying is too easy. Living is where the real fun begins. Asterisk Sophia, I don't have that much, but my roommates and I can pull some cash. Come by the classroom this afternoon. Asterisk, Yuan, I knew you'd come through. See you then. During the afternoon break, Sophia's song appeared outside the classroom right on time. Next period was Chinese with Professor Chinyu. Her grandfather was a traditional Chinese medicine practitioner, so this teacher had some basic pulse reading and diagnostic skills. She was always the first to notice when students felt unwell and arranged medical care. I deliberately borrowed money in class, making Sophia Song's illness the talk of the school. In our previous life, she repeatedly warned me not to tell anyone, saying she hated being discussed. This time around, borrowing money proved more difficult. She even forgot to mention this to me, though even if she had, I wouldn't have complied. Yuan, did you get enough? She urgently grasped my hand and asked. I was about to speak when Teacher Chinyu suddenly appeared, seizing Sophia Song's arm. Sophia Song, why are you borrowing money? And such. Before she could finish, her expression turned ashen. Sophia Song, come to my office. At those words, Sophia's face twisted. She shook off Chinyu's grip. I'm not your student anymore. What right do you have to control me? Not my student? Then why are you here? Fetch your parents. We need to discuss your student record. Crazy old hag, stop harassing me. Think you can summon anyone just because you're shameless enough? Without taking the money, Sophia shoved Teacher Chin aside and fled. Back in the dorm that evening, I logged into QQ and anxiously typed, Sophia, why did you lose your temper with the teacher like that? What about your treatment? You haven't even gotten the money yet. Save your fake concern. You're the one who told everyone I borrowed money from you, aren't you? Is that really what you think of me, Sophia? When I was short on funds, of course I had to borrow from others. Is being ill something shameful to mention? I powered off my phone immediately after sending this and buried myself under the covers. In my dream, Lucas Liu's face grew increasingly vivid, smeared with my blood, his gaze fixed on me like some vengeful wraith. Yet strangely, I felt no fear. My eyes stayed wide open, desperate to memorize his features. My dream self even clawed at phantom objects, determined to drag us both to destruction. I awoke with fists clenched tight, my nightgown soaked through with sweat. Lucas Liu, I whispered into the darkness. This lifetime, I'll return every ounce of pain you gave me, multiplied 1,000-fold. MS. Chin, our Chinese literature teacher, was exceptionally conscientious. Upon discovering Sophia Song's pregnancy, though discreet, she immediately coordinated with the homeroom teacher to contact Sophia's parents. They worried that though Sophia had dropped out, as a minor she might come to harm. Mr. Song, Sophia's father, prized his reputation, yet couldn't keep matters private. He immediately seized Sophia and began hurling abuse. Soon the neighbors all knew, including classmates who lived near Sophia Song's family. Naturally, Lucas Liu couldn't have remained unaware. He took 3 consecutive days off. When he returned to school, Lucas stormed toward me with unmistakable aggression. As I sat at my desk solving problems, he grabbed a stack of books nearby and hurled them at me, shouting, Chung Yuan, I never thought you'd be this kind of person. I dodged effortlessly, then stood and slapped him across the face. Are you insane? What kind of person am I supposed to be? The slap left him frozen in shock. When he regained his senses, his entire face flushed crimson with rage. He lunged at me, fist raised, but male classmates nearby restrained him firmly. I stood baffled, demanding, Lucas Liu, explain clearly, what exactly have I done to you? You know damn well what you've done. Chung Yuan, keep playing your dirty games, and I swear I'll make you pay. Oh, you accuse me, but can't even say how. If you can't articulate my crime, what's this tantrum about? Lucas hesitated, words trapped behind clenched teeth. Clearly, he didn't want anyone learning about his forbidden tryst with Sophia Song, or the pregnancy it caused. He simply shook off the classmates restraining him, straightened his disheveled jacket, and said, Nothing's wrong. I just personally dislike you and have grievances against you. Someone like you. I could never like you in this lifetime. Are you satisfied now? Ha ha ha. Do you even hear yourself right now? What do I care whether you like me or not? Who even are you? Where'd you get all that audacity? Chung Yuan, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Watching his self-assured expression, I could only find it laughable. Clearly, Sophia Song had long since shared our past conversations with him. Both of them were brimming with confidence. Sophia believing she'd scored some great victory by winning over someone I liked. Lucas Liu never once doubted the authenticity of Sophia's claims, utterly convinced that I must have feelings for him. Know what? You never make any damn sense when you talk. And hey, if you've really got some grievance against me, maybe cool off first. Think carefully about what you want to say. Then find a nicely sized piece of paper and write all your complaints down. Even if you changed, it wouldn't make me see you differently. No, you're overthinking it. What I mean is, that way, when you die, you can tuck it under your tongue. Maybe in your next life, you'll finally learn to speak properly. Chung Yuan, stop saying my name. Every time it comes out of your mouth, I feel like even my name turns disgusting. After the argument with Lucas Liu, to my surprise, Sophia Song sought me out again. Right after evening self-study ended, her QQ message popped up on my phone. Yuan, what happened? I thought you liked Lucas Liu. How could you two argue like that? Did Lucas tell you? There was a brief pause on the other end before the reply came through. What? Lucas would never tell me. We're not even close. I heard it from other classmates. Seriously, what's going on? I thought you liked him? I'd known Lucas Liu long before Sophia Song did. Back when we were in the same competition team, he had striking looks and impeccable manners. But what really stuck with me was that one late evening after school, when some shady characters approached me, Lucas appeared out of nowhere and chased them off. He even walked me all the way home that night. Later, after Sophia went through several boyfriends, she asked if I wanted to give dating a try. She claimed high school life was incomplete without romance. This is when we're most youthful and naive. The only time we can truly fall in love, she said. Everyone you meet later will just be calculating pros and cons like proper adults. Something about her words unsettled me, but I couldn't quite articulate why at that moment. I stayed silent, though Lucas's figure flashed through my mind. Sophia and I had been friends since childhood. She immediately pounced, demanding to know if I liked someone. I said I didn't know if it was liking, just that this person helped me, and he seemed decent. She insisted that meant I liked him, and told me I must seize the opportunity. Otherwise, if I missed it, it'd be gone forever. Sophia's song dropped out in the first semester of 11th grade. She never knew how overwhelmingly busy and exhausting high school became for us afterward. Those faint stirrings of affection had long been forgotten in some dusty corner of my mind. It wasn't until after her death, when Lucas Liu reappeared before me, that I suddenly remembered, as if waking from a dream, what I'd once naively considered a sweet encounter. In the end, that hazy fondness became my death warrant. Remembering this, I stared at our QQ chat and deliberately dodged the question, Sophia, how's your treatment going? Not now. I'm asking about you and Lucas. There's nothing between us. We're just classmates and teammates for the competition. I'm only upset because he laid hands on me that day. So do you still like him now? I left the message unanswered, shut off my phone, and went to bed. The National High School Physics competition was fast approaching. In my past life, Lucas skipped the college entrance exam entirely. This competition secured his guaranteed admission to Tsinghua University. What now? How could I let him sail through so easily this time? If I couldn't dismantle his life piece by piece, what meaning did my own existence even hold? Sophia's song kept pestering me relentlessly on QQ. I reverted to my old lecturing tone. Sophia, what exactly occupies your mind all day? These things don't matter. School romance is like grasping sand. It slips through your fingers when the wind blows. Our top priority should be academic advancement and future prospects. Emotions are just life seasoning. She never got the abortion. Lucas Liu had hidden her away. My mother worked with Lucas's mom, who often complained about his escalating spending habits lately, probably due to pre-competition stress. Yuan, you're too utilitarian. There are things more important than academic success and fame. Pity you'll never understand. For fuck's sake, I'm just normally studying and taking exams. Since when does that make me utilitarian? How quick you are to slap labels on people. Then what matters? What could possibly be more important than academics right now? That's all Lucas and I should focus on. Nothing else matters. Fine then, bookworm. You'll understand someday. Sophia's song tried desperately to make me see. Subsequently, Lucas Liu skipped classes with increasing frequency. He even dared to skip 2 special tutoring sessions conducted by renowned teachers the school had invited to sabotage Lucas's guaranteed admission opportunity. Sophia's song and I worked in tandem. In this second chance at life, I even had a side quest, getting rich. At first, I tried convincing my mom to invest in stocks, but she just thought I'd gone mad from studying too hard. Time waits for no one. My parents divorced early, so I was raised almost entirely by my mother. There was an education fund in a separate account. Taking a drastic approach, I accessed the money while she slept and deleted the transaction alerts beforehand. Fortunately, with my second chance knowledge, I remembered the card's password, something Mom had revealed to me after my college entrance exam in my previous life. Then I went to an internet cafe to register a stock trading account. Before the physics competition, I'd already multiplied that sum several times over. I transferred the principal back to the original card, then used the profits to sponsor Li Yan, a girl at school who was about to abandon her college entrance exam dreams. Her grades were just as good as Lucas Liu's, but with her father gravely ill and younger siblings to care for, she had no choice but to shoulder the family's burdens. When I offered the support, her face filled with disbelief. I fabricated a story about it being a donation from my mother's workplace colleagues. Tears of gratitude welled in her eyes. Lucas Liu had been either skipping classes or dozing off whenever he showed up lately. Tending to an emotionally volatile pregnant woman must have been exhausting. On the final competition day, he nearly arrived late. Watching from the 3rd floor balcony, I saw Sophia's song chasing after him with both hands, cradling her stomach. Catching sight of me, she swiftly ducked behind a nearby tree, feigning ignorance. I continued chatting cheerfully with Li Yan as we entered the exam hall. The results were announced within days. I didn't place. Hardly surprising. In my past life, I'd pursued graduate studies in medicine and biology. This time, I'd only come to gain experience, and to ensure Li Yan and another boy made it to the venue safely. Last lifetime, Xie Chun from the neighboring school had been in a car crash on exam day. This time, I'd befriended him in the prep class beforehand and steered him down an alternate route. I took perverse delight in multiplying Lucas Liu's competitors. Just as I'd anticipated, Li Yan took first place, while second went to the same boy from the previous timeline's rankings. Third place belonged to Xie Chun. Lucas had lost this opportunity completely. When the results came out, his teacher consoled him. "Don't worry, Lucas, there's still the college entrance exam. I know you have what it takes. You just need to regain your footing. Have you been unwell lately?" Lucas lowered his head briefly before mustering resolve. "It's fine, teacher. The college exam will serve just as well." I sat reading nearby, fighting the urge to look over, afraid the hatred in my eyes would become impossible to conceal. "Lucas Liu, you're dreaming. If I wanted you to take that college entrance exam unscathed, why would I have relived this life? How can I go on living unless you're crushed in the depths of hell? This is just the beginning. I won't give you a single chance to recover." During our final semester of senior year, we grew increasingly busy. I spent my days encouraging Sophia's song, painting vivid pictures of how wonderful university life would be. I scoured the internet for bloggers and influencers documenting collegiate romance, forwarding every post to her. "Sophia, why not come back to school? Life without university will always leave regrets. Romance just tastes sweeter on campus. Everyone survived high school. You're young and free, sharing interests and passions. Isn't that beautiful? Do people really need common interests to fall in love? Of course, you need shared values and good conversation. Look how my parents divorced over their differences. Never mind that. Yuan, have you made up with Lucas Liu? Ugh, I don't want to think about it. Let the future handle itself. I never gave her straight answers, always responding with deliberate vagueness. As the college entrance exam approached, I finally went to her and said, Yao, I still don't understand why Lucas Liu didn't place in his previous competitions. He didn't seem to be in good form, even after our terrible fight. I still hope he gets into college. Today, I heard him mention in class that he's allergic to peanuts. Do you think I should get him some allergy medication? I made sure to tell Sophia Song about this. In case she didn't know, Lucas took this exam very seriously. His mother personally delivered all his meals. Yet, in the end, he missed the college entrance exam altogether. On exam day, an allergic reaction sent him to the emergency room. By the time help arrived, prolonged choking had apparently caused some brain damage. The allergic reaction came from kissing Sophia Song. She'd eaten peanuts beforehand. Sophia, afraid he might recover too quickly, waited until much later to find him with his face swollen purple. The day after Lucas was hospitalized, I was still taking my exams. I'd just left the exam hall, planning to eat lunch and rest properly before the next test. Then Sophia showed up, holding a bouquet of baby's breath. Her eyes red from crying. She said, Yuan, I'm sorry. I never dared tell you about Lucas and me. Tell me what? She lowered her head, guilt written across her face as she glanced at her stomach. Yuan, when I came to borrow money last time, it was because I'm pregnant. Huh? I played along with feigned surprise. Don't you want to know who the father of my child is? Who? Jingnian. Yuan, you wouldn't blame me, right? I stared at her with mocking eyes, silent. How absurd. To think I'd considered someone like her a friend. Seeing my silence, she shoved the bouquet of baby's breath into my arms and babbled, Yuan, you'll bless us, won't you? These are the flowers he gave me. He said baby's breath represents silent, watchful love. Yuan, I'm sure you'll meet your right person too. I didn't take the flowers, letting them fall to the ground. Then I stomped on them viciously, grinding them underfoot as I spat. Then why choose today to tell me, my dear friend? Yuan, that's not what I meant. How could you think that of me? Think what of you, my dear friend? Look at you. How pathetic. Did you really believe I'd ever fall for that third-rate man? You're the one treating him like treasure, though he'll probably drool for the rest of his life after leaving the hospital. Go play happy families with your precious baby daddy then. But as of today, we're no longer friends. Chang Yuan, what do you mean by that? I kicked the flowers into a nearby trash pile and sneered. Exactly what it sounds like. We're through. Got it. Chang Yuan, what makes you so special? Just because you're better at studying and have a mother who loves you. Her curses followed behind me, but I paid them no mind. 3 days after the college entrance exam ended, Lucas Liu still hadn't been discharged from the hospital. When the results came out, I chose the same university as in my previous life, while Lucas Liu decided to repeat his senior year. But things weren't as simple as he'd imagined. First, the prolonged allergic choking had caused some degree of brain damage. During a placement test after his return, classmates who repeated the year with him said Lucas didn't even rank in the top 100 of his grade. Second, Sophia Song gave birth to their child. The secret could no longer be kept. Lucas's parents despised Sophia Song. They believed she had ruined their precious son. Not a shred of kindness was shown to her. Meanwhile, Sophia's family had been searching for her, only to discover she'd already had the baby. Her father nearly fainted from rage on the spot. Lucas found himself drowning in these trivial yet exhausting matters every day. Overjoyed, I threw myself into lab work for another fortnight straight. I wanted to graduate early, to reclaim my previous life's resources and achievements at lightning speed. These things came far more naturally to me than high school coursework ever had. By the end of my first college semester, Lucas was already on the verge of dropping out. His mother complained to mine every day about what would become of this son of hers. Being so considerate, of course I had to help them out. I introduced his mother to Springfield's top fertility specialist, an esteemed senior from my alma mater, Mrs. Lou had actually always wanted a second child, but bearing Lucas had damaged her body beyond conception. Finally, crushed by academic setbacks and domestic drudgery, Lucas dropped out before even sitting for the college entrance exam. Sophia Song's family had already disowned her. Lucas kept threatening his parents into taking care of Sophia until news arrived of his mother's second pregnancy. He completely shattered, raged through the house like a madman until his father pinned him down and beat him senseless. Eventually, he found menial work, lacking both credentials and his past life's cunning, condemned to factory labor, while Sophia tended their child at home. Truth be told, his misery seemed complete. But whenever I recall that scalpel slicing through flesh, I still crave flaying the flesh from his bones. Yet with him keeping quiet now, my hands are tied. It wasn't until Li Yan and Xie invited me out that Xie treated us to drinks at a bar to unwind. Both Li Yan and I initially wanted to decline, but thinking of how I'd been buried in the lab all day, she changed her mind and dragged me along with them. Strobe lights pulsed as young men and women swayed their hips to the music. The pounding bass reverberated through the space. The drunken figures swaying before my eyes seemed to morph into Sophia's song. Something flickered through my mind, too fleeting to grasp. Then I overheard two girls nearby, the long-haired one asking the short-haired one, "Are you really sure you don't remember whose it was?" My mind cleared instantly. Of course, from reuniting with Lucas Liu to our marriage, years had passed. Someone that meticulous would never have gotten a girl pregnant in high school. Besides, given how close Sophia and I used to be, I knew most of her romantic history. That's why in my past life, I never imagined she'd end up with Lucas. She'd always had steady boyfriends. I'd been blind to the obvious. Yet, I couldn't be entirely certain. Surely, even Sophia wouldn't be that unhinged. With these thoughts, I quickly left the bar and contacted a private investigator that very night. When Springfield's first spring snow fell, the report arrived. Before Sophia Song got together with Lucas Liu, she had been dating a local real estate trust fund kid. Their relationship had been kept strictly under wraps. Most crucially, there were now signs of their old flame rekindling. This was where things got interesting. On an utterly ordinary evening, Lucas's coworker dragged him to a bar to unwind. He meant to go home to care for their child, but couldn't refuse his friend's insistence. Though living hand to mouth, he still strived to be a good husband and father. That night brought no relaxation. He ended up pulling bartending shifts in his work uniform at the VIP booths. Before reaching his station, he saw his wife leaning in to kiss another man. He nearly charged forward, until her melancholy whisper froze him. "Hey Yuan, do you still blame me? When you abandoned me pregnant, someone had to care for us." Lucas felt his world collapse in an instant. It took every ounce of willpower not to confront the cheating pair. Shrugging off his uniform, he trudged back alone to their squalid tenement. The question haunted him. How had he sunk this low? When exactly? The day he learned of Sophia's pregnancy? Or when he half-assed that guaranteed admission competition? Was it the kiss on his college entrance exam day that severed all ties? Or his parents' sudden midlife obsession with having a second child? He felt besieged by absurdities, one bizarre misfortune after another, like relentless tidal waves, sapping all strength to resist, until he plunged into the abyss. He bought expensive liquor, the finest he touched in 2 years. Before, when misery struck, he couldn't even drown his sorrows. First, cheap alcohol tasted foul and brought headaches. Second, Sophia Song detested the smell of liquor. God, how he'd loved her. Once she'd shimmered so vividly, like sudden radiance in his monochrome world. Now, he saw it wasn't light, but a choking void. Step by step, he'd become her sacrificial offering, while she feasted carefree on his life. Lucas Liu lost count of bottles before Sophia's Song returned. Her cheeks flushed with disgust. "How much did you drink? Who could live with this?" "Can't live with me? Then who exactly could you live with?" Lucas Liu smirked with derision. Sophia Song averted her gaze, too guilty to meet his eyes. Then she hurried to the sofa, scooping up the child as she snapped, "Lucas, you can't blame every failure in your life on others." Those words ignited Lucas's fury. He kicked her violently. Sophia stumbled backward, her head striking a wine bottle. Blood gushed instantly. The dazzling crimson sent a thrill through Lucas's veins. Sophia trembled as she saw the madness in his bloodshot eyes. She tried to placate him. "Lucas, don't do anything reckless. Think of our child." The plea only enraged him further. "Child? Whose child? Exactly?" "Lucas, what are you implying? You doubt me?" Sophia's entire body shook with terror. Lucas smashed another bottle against the table. "I said, whose fucking child is it? You cheating whore." He dragged the broken glass across her beautiful face. The sensation of splitting flesh, Sophia's screams, and the baby's wails electrified his senses. Fragmented memories flooded his mind. The woman's agonized shrieks in the basement flickered through his consciousness like scenes from a horror film. His head throbbed with unbearable pain. His grip tightened uncontrollably as he smashed another bottle, clutching the jagged neck, its shards glinting like fangs. He watched Sophia Song's chest heave in terror. In one brutal motion, he drove the glass into her flat stomach. The movement felt eerily familiar, as if he'd done this before. Only the neighbor's frantic knocking snapped him back to reality. Staring at Sophia's blood-drenched body beneath him, he dropped the glass shard in panic. Then he leapt through the third-floor window and fled. Providentially, Sophia's parked motorcycle waited below. The night swallowed him whole as he scurried from the city like a sewer rat. The detective later filled me in. Sophia's face was permanently disfigured, her fertility destroyed. That trust fund kid Ching Yuan outright denied paternity. With no options left, she took menial street-sweeping jobs, face veiled, to feed her child. As for Lucas Liu, he vanished completely, until one unremarkable afternoon when my phone rang. "Chang Yuan," the voice hissed. "Was your revenge sweet? You've ruined my life. Are you satisfied now?" I recognized Lucas Liu instantly. "How can you call this revenge? Isn't this exactly what you wanted? Why did you disappear? What about your beloved and child?" "Shut up, you bitch. I won't let you get away with this." "This is hilarious. How exactly will you not let me get away? A disgusting, revolting cockroach like you dares compare yourself to me? Haven't you researched me? I'm now an internationally renowned medical biologist. Do you really think you can even get near me? The best catch is the fish that willingly bites the hook." Over the next 2 years, I became a frequent guest on various interview programs, constantly maintaining my public presence and sharing snippets of my daily life. Mansions, luxury cars, handsome escorts. Meanwhile, Lucas Liu was fleeing across the country. Every public appearance I made came with detailed timings and locations posted online. It wasn't that Lucas never considered revenge. My security detail was simply too tight for him to get within striking distance, until the day I brought his parents to my senior colleague's assisted reproduction talk show. That evening, an unknown number texted me, "Cheng Yuan, you've driven me to ruin. If I'm going to hell, I'm taking you with me." Finally, during one event, he ambushed me after hiding in a ventilation shaft for 2 days. But he nearly got caught the moment he dropped down. To escape, he smashed through a floor-to-ceiling window and fled into the landscape gardens. Capturing him would have been easy, but why let him off so lightly with mere prison time? That was the happiest choice he could have made. I was determined to keep provoking him, to keep stirring his emotions. Only then would he be driven to reckless vengeance, blinded by rage. After a few rounds of this game, I quickly grew bored. Soon, word spread that I was leaving for Colombia to conduct research. I chose to travel by cruise ship, partly to study marine life, partly because the route would pass through international waters. As any seasoned killer knows, international waters are the most convenient place for murder. Lucas Liu, you'd better not miss this chance. I'm handing you this golden opportunity myself. Nights at sea are pitch black, an endless void of darkness. Lucas barely showed his face before security grabbed him. In the locked room where he was held, I deliberately left a research paper on male pregnancy. No such experiment actually existed. I wasn't bored enough to study it. I just wanted to terrify him to the point of breakdown. If he struggled hard enough, he could break free from the ropes binding him. In this vast expanse of ocean, there were only 2 yachts. The other belonged to a group of notorious billionaires who enjoyed toying with men. Night watch was lax. Lucas stumbled out and plunged from the deck into the sea. He loathed me with venom, boarding another yacht to curry favor with those men instead. How utterly exhausting. Those men were notoriously wild players, veritable nightmares for men in our circles. When I saw Lucas Liu again, his haggard appearance startled me. He walked with a limp, his buttocks clenched tight. Lying on the bed, he listlessly allowed the doctor to examine him. At the sight of me, he became violently agitated. Kill her, you promised. If I let you, you'd... One of the men strode over and, slapped him across the face. Promised? What promise? Since when do men's bed talk count? Lucas Liu clutched his buttock with one hand, his stinging cheek with the other, gaping at the man in disbelief. I'll admit, there was something almost delicate about him, pitiable in his distress. Pity, these billionaires were infamous for crushing tender sprouts underfoot. One glance between me and the red-eyed Lucas, then unbuckled his belt and lashed it across his back. You love screaming, don't you? Then scream properly for me. Go on, scream. Any attempt to flee only tore at his wounds, forcing Lucas to crouch defensively, hands shielding his rear as the blows rained down. Once I'd seen enough, I turned and left. One of the billionaires grabbed my arm and interrogated me relentlessly. Dr. Chung, is it truly impossible for men to bear children? The man had bats in his belfry, obsessed with making men give birth for him. This explained why he'd been tailing me and summoned me here today. He even offered to bankroll the research. Why would I study that? Isn't it illegal anyway? But then I pictured Lucas Liu lying prone on the bed, nursing his wounds with his ass in the air. Malice welled up inside me as I deliberately intimidated him. Let's discuss this privately. Behind the door, Lucas's hysterical screams continued unabated. I figured this was as far as revenge could go. My only option now was getting him deported to face prison. Yet months later, a shocking message arrived. Lucas Liu had taken a knife to his own stomach. He'd become convinced he carried a child inside him. The prolonged isolation at sea, locked in that cabin, compounded by the psychological torture from those men, had shattered his sanity. He genuinely believed himself pregnant. He couldn't live with such abomination. In the end, he kept slashing his belly, reaching inside while screaming, "Come out, all of you, come out." After Lucas's death, my life momentarily lost its savor. I couldn't even muster interest in monitoring Sophia's song anymore. I just feel so empty. Sometimes I still have nightmares about my past life, but they don't frighten me anymore. Mom worries constantly about my condition, keeping watch over me ever since she retired. I don't want to be like this. But humans aren't machines after all. After being washed through with too much hatred and malice, one simply grows numb. The life in my stomach stirred restlessly, like the first time I saw the world after my death in that previous life. Mom looked at me, lying in that pool of blood, her eyes tearing apart with agony. She stitched my wounds together with trembling hands. Lucas Liu already held absolute power by then. Mom didn't confront him immediately. She even pretended not to know anything. She kept tending to him until the day his guard dropped, then turned on the gas stove. The fire took all those who harmed me with it. Through the flames, I saw her tears. That heartbreaking moment, until her last breath, she kept sobbing. My Yuan, my precious Yuan, this pain is killing me. How much it must have hurt you. How could you bear such pain? My Yuan, don't be afraid anymore. I've dragged him down to hell. No one can ever hurt you again. When I woke, my face was drenched in tears, and met Mom's eyes overflowing with tenderness. She gently wiped away my tears and asked, "Did you have a nightmare? Yuan, let me brew you some calming herbal soup." I threw myself into her arms, clinging to her tightly. Being loved can make flesh and blood grow anew. With Mother here, I'm willing to live well again, to love this world once more. Fate gave me a second chance. I've learned so much, and I'm so wealthy now. I can make this world a better place. If there truly is a God in this world, then I devote this life to good deeds, just a bargain for another lifetime with Mother. and another after that.